So welcome, we're still here in Cumberland, Rhode Island. We're going to check out one last location here. We're on Elder Ballou Meetinghouse Rd. It's the Ballou Cemetery, or Rhode Island Historical Cemetery number 27 here in Cumberland. And this is quite a bizarre site here. You're immediately met in the cemetery by the grave of Edwin Miller and his wife Lydia Ann. And very beautiful monument here. This is definitely one of the creepier ones, and we'll see some of the major creep factor here in a second. Quick look of the graves here. Elder Ballou. Obviously the namesake of the road itself. This is where this family has been interred here in the cemetery. A lot of the graves date from born in approximately 1792, dying in the mid 18th century. The grounds are kept fairly well. There is a very bizarre keep here which immediately caught my eye here. So let's zoom in on this and take a look at what we got here. You can actually see inside. So this is the keep. And we can actually go and look in. That is absolutely astounding. Look at that. It's one of the crypts that they would put the bodies when the ground was frozen. You see a nice little bug there. Look at that roof. That is absolutely stunning. The doors, looks like there were stone doors here that have since have fallen in disrepair. As we look inside here, you can see the stairs, and I am not going inside there, but we will have a really brilliant look around here. Look at that. There's 3 of them. There's a creepy, I'm sorry, there's actually 4th. You can see the part on the keep here, as if to keep somebody out, or perhaps to keep somebody in. The state of decay here is rather sizable. This has not been very well maintained. It could still be used. It just, you wouldn't be able to actually have any kind of security over the coffin. And then the 4th one, again, more the same. This one actually has much more decay. There's a spider web there. I'm going to be careful. The steps down. That is a magnificent looking crypt. That's a magnificent looking keep here. It's by far the largest one that we've seen. Let's set up on top here and get a really great view of this. I'm going to have to thank Haunted Rhode Island, as I just dropped this book, for ferreting out this place. This is the top of the mound of the keep. When we go to Sturbridge Cemetery, we'll see they have a very small one, and we saw the keep that Mercy Brown was kept in before before they performed the procedure on her to rid her of her vampirism. So we're on top of the keep right now. It's directly below us. It's a very big mound here. So what the legend here that draws us today, the sun is very brilliant here, try to turn away from it the best I can, is the man in gray. A lot of sightings in this cemetery of a mysterious individual in gray, whether he's a caretaker or somebody who is not at rest. So if you're in a paranormal activities around cemeteries, this is one of the more popular legends surrounding this particular one here in Cumberland. See the graves here again. Looks like early to mid 18th century. The general view, the sun is going to really, okay, we're in the shade right now. You can get a really good view. The stones are really just distributed very haphazardly over the ground. It doesn't have the order of a cemetery that you're used to, that we're familiar with. See the smaller stones here for children who have deceased. Roped off areas for families. A lot of breakages of the stones themselves. See over here, this one's been propped up against a tree. These perhaps vandals, legend trippers. Unfortunately, when these cemeteries get reputations for having ghosts. What ends up happening is vandals invade. Now this is a particularly old stone right here. Person died in 1747. Mary, wife of Nathaniel Ballou. So this is definitely the Ballou Cemetery. A lot of much older stones that have just worn away. You can see here, they don't even have, there's the marking, oh, they're on this side here. Can't even read that. Really been worn down here. The Trask family. Take a look at some of the more features here. Try to get a good shot here from the top of the hill. This is definitely a historical cemetery. This is a cemetery that lost in time. Broken stones. A very magnificent looking keep. Very old stones. Look at the decoration on this particular one right here. 1805. Miss Martha Cook died. You can't see it. It's got a little splatter mark there. So we're talking contemporary here now. We're seeing people who lived during the late 18th century now. You can always tell the old stones from the new one by just the design here on top. Just a picture of a sun. This individual died in 1770, making this, again, one of the more older stones. It's Captain Jeff Ballou, died in 1800. No sign yet of the... Oh, I just tripped over somebody. We'll give him a little recognition there that we know he's there. Again, bordered by the stone wall you see on the side. This is very common of our historical cemeteries. And there are literally lots of broken stones just on the ground here. And I'll just give them all a little pat there, that we recognize who they are. This is Nancy, wife of Otis Ballou, I see in the background. So literally an entire family. 1942. This is their cemetery. A little more looks around here. Get a little deeper. You can see the degree of... and we just tripped over. That's just a branch this time. Ground's not very well kept. You can see I'm tripping almost every step here. These stones here have broken. They've been cleaved. Well, probably vandalism, I would say. They're pretty solid. I can't imagine that these fell victim to a simple erosion here. This looks like this cemetery has been heavily vandalized. You can see that the caretaker has been very careful to keep the stones pieces together. The Whipples, I wonder if they were from Providence. There's a big street in Providence named Whipple that I use every day. Yeah, get back home. We get very deep here. This is the classic New England cemetery. If you're looking for Halloween fun, this obviously don't come here for any kind of shenanigans, but this is really will get your blood moving here and get the fright inside you. Again, another stone here that has been broken down, perhaps even vandalized. Here in the back, Captain Jonathan and Nancy Ballou, the family cemetery, even as far back here. Looks like a Civil War. Well, no, that would predate the Civil War. He was 78 when he died in 1869. So it's very possible that Jonathan Ballou was in the War of 1812. 54, most very good chance that he was, or at least a soldier around that time. And now we're looking at the back here. Again, bordered by woods, very classic New England. And the stones themselves all tilted. You can see the stones are tilted forward. That's due to just the effect of the weather. Strong snowstorms can cause the stones to tilt forward. The breakage could be due to water, bad craftsmanship. Water gets in the cracks, freezes, expands, and then you get cleaving. Or what it could simply be is vandalism. Kids, I see some kids across the street with their dog right now. And they're about to cross over and come into this cemetery, which has a rather interesting reputation, as I said. Ground's not really well manicured. You can see over here. Probably not one that is regularly looked after. A lot of the stones, again, have been abraded by the wind and the elements. You can't read them. So we're headed back down. Here's the mound of the keep. So let's take a couple shots there before we take off. Let's see this family over here. Very welcoming metal chained off area for the family. Looks like the Payne family here. Died very young. Two of them, daughter and son, died 23, 27. Interesting. I'm trying to figure out who exactly is buried there. So yeah, this one will not disappoint on Elder Ballou Meetinghouse Rd here. A very classic New England cemetery. No sign of the man in gray, but creep factor very high. These almost look like coffins. What is this? This is a Trask family stone which has been tipped over. Wondering why there's so many poorly constructed stones here. So with the high creep factor, it's this keep, this quadruple keep, which is, I suppose if you were the right size, you could squeeze through these bars. But it's, locked shut. Looks like these bolts are relatively new here, so obviously the police and the authorities are trying to keep people out. Already looks like a very popular place. I've seen at least 2 cars parked across and have people enter the ground. That was the original door used to shut the keep. Again, fantastic. So if you get down to Cumberland, Rhode Island, come down to the Ballou Cemetery on Elder Ballou Meetinghouse Rd. This is a fantastically creepy, eerie place. One of the most interesting cemeteries I've seen. Doesn't really have the history of the vampire cemeteries, but in terms of atmosphere, this is really interesting. This is really very interesting. So we'll sign off now, and hope these will be uploaded on our YouTube channel, and also visit devilshopyard.com. Bye.